The night shift always felt longer than it actually was, especially when you were the only one there. The gas station sat on the edge of town, just off a quiet highway where headlights passed like ghosts and disappeared into the dark. Inside, the fluorescent lights buzzed softly, fancer. The kind of sound you only notice when everything else is silent. It was close to closing time. Just a few more minutes, and I'd lock the doors, count the register, and go home. That's when the phone rang. Not unusual, but something about it felt off. No caller ID, just a blank screen. I picked it up anyway. Hello? At first there was nothing, just static, faint, like someone breathing too close to the receiver. Then a voice. Low, slow, almost amused. Are you alone? I frowned, glancing around the empty store. Who is this? The line went dead. I stood there for a moment, phone still in my hand, listening to the silence like it might answer back. Then I laughed it off, probably a prank call. It wasn't. The phone rang again. This time, I hesitated before answering. Gas station. The same voice. I can see you. My stomach dropped. I looked toward the windows instinctively. Nothing but darkness outside, and my own reflection staring back at me. Very funny, I said, trying to sound annoyed instead of nervous. Don't call again. Click. I hung up. Now the silence felt different. Heavier. Watching. I told myself I was overthinking, but I still walked over and locked the front door. Earlier than usual, just in case. A few minutes passed. Then, the bell above the door jingled. I froze. I was sure I had locked it. Slowly, I turned. A man stood inside, tall, thin. His clothes looked off, like they didn't quite belong to him. And his face, he was smiling. Not a normal smile. Too wide, too still. Hey, he said casually, like nothing was wrong. You still open? I swallowed. Just closing. He nodded slowly, eyes never leaving mine. Then he started walking down the aisles, not browsing, not picking anything up, just walking, back and forth. Like he was waiting, or looking for something that wasn't there. I kept watching him, pretending to organize the counter, but every instinct in my body was screaming that something wasn't right. The phone rang again, loud, sharp. I flinched. The man stopped walking and turned his head, slowly, toward me. I picked up the phone. Hello? The voice came back. Don't let him leave. My grip tightened. What? Click. Dead again. I looked up. The man was closer now, standing just a few feet from the counter, still smiling. You okay? He asked. His voice didn't match his face. It was too calm, too normal. Yeah, I said quickly. Just closing up. He nodded again, then leaned slightly forward. You shouldn't be here alone. My heart started pounding. I'm not, I lied. Someone's in the back. His smile twitched. Just for a second, then he stepped back. Right, he said softly. And just like that, he turned and walked out. The door shut behind him. The bell jingled again, and I exhaled, not realizing I'd been holding my breath. I waited. A minute. 2. Then I rushed to lock the door again, double-checking it this time. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. I finished closing as fast as I could, hands shaking while counting the register, lights flickering as I turned them off one by one. Finally, it was time to leave. I grabbed my keys, took a deep breath, and stepped outside. The parking lot was almost completely dark. Only one streetlight worked, flickering at the far end. My car sat near the side of the building, and for a moment, everything felt normal again. Until I heard it. Footsteps behind me. Slow, deliberate. I turned. Nothing. Just shadows stretching across the pavement. I told myself to keep walking. Don't stop. Don't look back again. Then, the phone rang. Inside the store. I froze. It rang again and again, echoing through the empty building behind me. My chest tightened. And that's when I saw him, standing just beyond the edge of the light, watching me. That same smile, barely visible in the dark. I couldn't move. "Why didn't you listen?" he called out. His voice carried easily, too clearly for the distance between us. My fingers fumbled with my keys. He took a step forward, then another. "Don't let him leave," the voice echoed in my head. The call, the warning. It wasn't about me. It was about him. I finally got my car door open, jumped inside, and locked it instantly. He was closer now, too close. His hand touched the window, not knocking, just resting there, smiling. I started the engine. He leaned in slightly, eyes locked onto mine. "You shouldn't have answered the phone," he whispered. Then I drove. I didn't look back. I didn't stop. And I never worked another night shift again. But sometimes, when my phone rings late at night and there's no caller ID, I let it ring because I'm still not sure who was really watching me that night. It started like any other night behind the bar. Low lights, soft music humming in the background, glasses clinking, and strangers pretending not to watch each other. I'd been working there long enough to read people, or at least I thought I could, until he walked in. He didn't look out of place. Well-dressed, calm, the kind of man who blends in perfectly, which is exactly what made him stand out. He took a seat at the far end of the bar, didn't order right away, just watched. Not the TV, not the crowd. Me. When I finally walked over, he smiled, polite, controlled. "Busy night?" he asked. Normal question, but his eyes, they weren't interested in small talk. He ordered something simple, didn't drink much. Instead, he kept asking questions, not about drinks or the menu, but about me. "How late do you usually stay? Do you close alone? Anyone ever come by after hours?" Each question sounded casual, but together they felt wrong. I laughed it off, gave vague answers, and eventually he left. But something about that conversation stayed with me, like a splinter in the back of my mind. Small, but impossible to ignore. A week passed. I almost forgot about him. Almost. Then one night, he came back. This time, he wasn't alone. She walked in beside him. Elegant, confident, the kind of person people turn to look at without realizing. She smiled at me before I even greeted them, like she already knew me. They sat together, whispering, glancing over, waiting. When I approached, she took the lead. Her voice was smooth, carefully measured. "We're hosting a private event," she said. "Very exclusive." Then she leaned in slightly. "And we think you'd be perfect." Perfect for what? She didn't explain, just smiled. The man watched silently, like he was waiting for my reaction, studying it. I felt it again. That same unease, stronger this time, heavier. I made an excuse, said I was busy, tried to keep it professional. But inside, every instinct was screaming. They didn't push, didn't argue. They just left. And that should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. A few nights later, and I was working a late shift, almost closing time. The bar was nearly empty. Quiet. Too quiet. That's when the door opened, and she walked in, alone. No smile this time. No charm. Just urgency. She moved quickly toward the bar. "Lock the door," she said. My heart skipped. "What?" Before she could answer, I heard it. A loud bang from the entrance, then another. The handle started shaking violently. And that's when I saw them. Through the glass, figures, multiple faces covered, trying to force their way inside. My chest tightened. This wasn't random. This wasn't a coincidence. This was planned. The woman turned to me, her voice lower now, more desperate. "They're not here for me." A pause. "They're here for you." Another violent hit against the door, wood cracking, glass trembling. My mind raced. Everything clicked at once. The questions, the visit, the invitation. This wasn't chance. I was being watched, chosen, set up. The doorframe started to give. I backed away, heart pounding so loud it drowned out everything else. And then, silence. The banging stopped. Just like that. No footsteps, no voices, nothing. We waited, frozen, listening. Minutes passed, or maybe seconds. I couldn't tell. Finally, I moved toward the door, slowly, carefully, and looked outside. Empty, completely empty. No people, no masks, no sign that anyone had ever been there. I turned back to her, but she was already gone. No goodbye, no explanation, just gone. That was the last time I saw either of them. But sometimes, when I'm closing late, and the bar goes quiet, I still feel it. That same feeling, like someone, somewhere, is still watching, waiting. It was 2:13 a.m., the kind of hour where the world feels paused. No traffic, no voices, just the low hum of fluorescent lights and the distant whisper of wind brushing against the highway. I was alone, night shift, same as always. The gas station sat off mile 17, a forgotten stop between nowhere and nowhere else. That's when he walked in. The bell above the door gave a soft chime, but something about it felt wrong. He didn't rush, didn't look around like most customers. He just stood there for a second, watching me. Then he spoke. Car broke down a few miles back. Think you can help me out? His voice was calm, too calm. I nodded, played along, but something didn't add up. No dirt on his clothes, no sweat, no signs of someone who just walked miles down an empty highway. Still, I kept my voice steady. Yeah, what do you need? He hesitated, just for a second. Then he said, gas, maybe a ride. That's when I noticed it. His eyes weren't on me anymore. They kept drifting, past me, toward the back, toward the security monitor. A chill ran down my spine, slowly, casually. I turned my head. The monitor showed the outside cameras, empty pumps, dark road, and then movement near the edge of the frame, just beyond the reach of the lights. Someone was standing there, perfectly still, watching. My heart started pounding. I turned back to the man in front of me. He was smiling now, but it wasn't a normal smile. It was the kind of smile that said, "You're already too late." I didn't think. I just reached under the counter and slammed the alarm. The sound shattered the silence, loud, piercing. For a split second, everything froze. Then the man's expression dropped. Outside, the figure moved. Both of them ran, fast, straight into the woods behind the station, and just like that, they were gone. Police arrived within minutes. We checked the area. Nothing, no footprints, no trace. But then, one of the officers found something, a car, parked just off the road, hidden behind trees, engine still warm, doors unlocked. Inside, there was someone in the back seat, silent, unmoving, alive, but barely. To this day, no one knows who those men were or what they were planning. But sometimes, on nights when the wind hits just right, I still check those cameras. And I swear, for a split second, I see someone standing there, watching, waiting.